Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our live. Today, we are going to talk about a topic relating to franchise business. Like we titled in our banner, right? Is should I start a franchise business? Today, I'm not going to pitch you anything. I'm not here to tell you that how great a franchise business is. Instead of telling you the pros and cons, why franchise is good, why franchise is bad, I'll put all of that aside. Today, I will share with you few factors to think about before you decide whether to buy a franchise or you want to start your very own business from scratch. Now, moving forward, you may be asking me, Charles, who are you actually? What gives you the right to tell me what should I think about? Okay, so let me introduce myself to everybody. So my name is Charles, and I am the Business Development Director of VentureGrab. All right, so I am here to help VentureGrab to be the next big unicorn of Malaysia. All right, by helping more SMEs. All right. So about myself, I started my business journey 10 years ago when I was still very young. I was involved in a lot of businesses, everything like almost. I did events, I was in the media industry, and so on and so forth. But the most relevant to today's topic is I was a franchisee for a VR business, virtual reality business. Why I would like to share this point is because my franchise business in VR, that one kind of didn't work out. Therefore, I think it's the best thing to use as an example to share with you to help you learn from my mistake and make a better decision. So next thing about myself is I consulted a lot of people on their career because I was a recruiter before. And from there, I transitioned into consulting people on their careers. Right. So what I mean by consulting career is just there are many times a lot of like people of young people, even people who have been working for so long. Sometimes you will get stuck in your career. Right. You already work for 10 years or work for 5 years. At a certain point, you don't know where to move forward to. Whether you want to run your own business or you want to do investment or continue working to climb the corporate ladder, should you change career? So I do all of that. So naturally, by doing that, I will meet a lot of people that wants to transition from working to doing business and they don't know what to do and where to start. So from there, I know how new business entrepreneurs think lah. All right, so I will know what to share with you. Right. Third thing is being in VentureGrab as the business development team, right? I did deal with franchise owners a lot on how to expand their franchise, right? I also dealt with franchise owners that want to exit from their existing running franchise to, because it's part of the thing lah. So they want to exit and they want to do other business already. So I do assist that. So from there, I know how the franchise business work as a whole, and what franchise owner think and what they need to do in order to grow their franchise business. Okay, and next is really on knowledge lah. So on knowledge, I have a master's in science in business management. So being in the master in science means that we do a lot of research on business as social science, right? So the way we do our research, the way we understand things is using the scientific methodology. So everything is more on facts, right? Not just figures, but facts as well. Social science kind of thing lah. All right. So from there, I understand a lot about business. All right. Now, in other words, I'm a business nerd lah. All right. So now, the topic today we are going to talk about is whether should you buy a franchise business. All right. But before we get into that topic, let me share with you a little bit about franchise business as a whole. All right. So a franchise business, in a very, very layman term, it means it's a duplicate business. All right. Business A have their name, have their type of branding color, their products, the way they train the staff, the way the staff talk to customer, the way they serve the customer, how their plates look like, how the table look like, how the chair look like. Every single thing about business A, an entrepreneur can copy that business and put it in different location. All right, so it's very layman term to explain that. All right, so the reason why certain businesses they want to franchise the business is because they want to reach out to more locations, but without using so much of their own resources. Right, it's more of a shared resource rather than they are the one who own everything. All right. So example of franchise business in Malaysia, there's different industry, right? A lot when you say franchise, right, a lot of people automatically think about F&B, but as a franchise, there are actually different industry as well. The next biggest industry that uses franchise is education. Education, like Cambridge University. When you want to study English, you look for the Cambridge brand, but that one is more licensee than franchisee lah. Right? And the one that will in education that will use a lot of will use franchise a lot will be on the early childhood one. Because early childhood education, like Jimbori, Big Apple, they will give you the syllabus, the brand, their name. They will give you 100% of the syllabus. You'll train your teacher on how to teach your students based on their teaching method. This one is education. Another type of industry that does franchise a lot is the retail industry, especially the retail industry. Malaysian brand, you have like Mr. DIY. The international brand, you have Daiso. Shopping mall, like department store kind, is still considered retail. It's a bigger version. You have like Parkson. It's very old, like Parkson, I know. You have Eon. There's also fashion. Fashion also like Forever 21, although they are no longer there. There's Forever 21, there's H&M, and also even automotive. Automotive also have franchise. The one that I know very clearly is Malaysia one lah, is Lim Taya. Right? Everywhere also use Lim Taya. So basically you take their name, Lim Taya, and the main branch will do the marketing for you. They will generate the leads for you. So the supplier, the everything, the training, all will be the same across all Lim Taya. All right. So industry-wise, that I just mentioned just now will be F&B, education, tech, retail, fashion, automotive, and many other industries. All right. So now let's move on to the main topic for today, which is answering your question. Should I start a franchise business? All right. I'm going to share with you 6 factors. Right, 6 factors to think about, to ponder before you decide whether you should start a franchise business or not. All right, although the factors I share can be used for starting a business, but will have a little bit different. All right, but today's topic is about franchise, so let's go with it. Go with the franchise thing lah. All right, so first factor is, why are you planning to buy a franchise business? Your big why. All right, why are you planning to buy a franchise in the first place? Is it to replace your full-time job, or is it something for you to have an additional income, or is it to pay off your debts, or you have other responsibilities that you actually need more money than your existing salary, or are you like making more money to prepare yourself for retirement? Or is there something extra, a business to protect yourself because of as a backup plan for this COVID-19 pandemic, or you want to buy it to build something, right? You want to build something on the side, like it's not really on monetary. It's something like you want to do something different, or you want to build something like creating your baby, make it successful. Whatever reason it is, you need to determine the big why, because the big why is the most important factor that will influence the other factors later on. Like example, if you are the one that based on your big why, right, you want to become, like, what type of franchise are you going to buy? What kind of industry you want to get into? Will you choose to be an active business partner, or you want to be just buy it and let it run automatically, more sleeping partner type. So this will be an anchor factor for all the decisions that's going to come later. All right, cool. Let's move to the next point. Factor number 2 will be your finance. Starting every business, every single business, you need money. All right. Understanding your financial situation, understanding how money works in business is very, very important, especially on your own financial strength. Okay, that was a mistake I did that time when I started my franchise business. Okay, because general rule of thumb for any business, especially franchise business, in order for you to start a business, especially a franchise business, it is advisable that you have enough money. I wouldn't say income, I would say enough money that can help you or let you survive for 6 months without income. Because business have many things that you cannot predict on, especially when it comes to money, right? So you need to know how strong is your financial strength in order for you to continue to do it. Yes, there are times where people, they silang everything into their business and they made it. Those are the the success story you always hear. But on reality, 9 out of 10, you're going to face financial issues. So always have something prepared. My personal advice, right, is do not spend all your life savings into a franchise business. Or worse, you spend your life saving and you go and take loans, a lot of loans, to purchase the franchise business. Never ever do that. Always have financial backup before you start, before you even decide on what kind of franchise business that you want to take. All right, because there are additional money that you need to prepare also. There are deposits for the shop if it's a brick and mortar type. There are money for rolling capital. Some of the master franchise, they did not include this thing into the whole package. Some do, some don't. And then you have deposit for many things. Sometimes the shop is not just the rent deposit. You have the electricity deposit. You have the water deposit. Some place have the signage deposit. Some place have the aircon deposit. And then some got the safety deposit. So many deposit also you don't know what. It depends on the location also. So you need to look into your finance, how strong they are, and also learn a little bit about business finance. Little bit. You don't need to know a little bit. All right. Okay. So next point number 3. All right, is your market data. You need to understand the market. Now, in the beginning, I said the master franchise, the reason why a franchise has business is because they want to reach out to more places. So you as a franchisee, because of franchise business, especially franchising, is relying heavily a lot on the location. That's because that's why they're expanding, right? So for you to grab the franchise, there's 2 things you need to think about. Whether it's an existing location or is it a brand new location. There's pros and cons in this, all right? The existing location, you buy over from somebody, right? Because the business is already there, it's already running, you already have the database, you already have everything is there. All you need to do is take over and run. But taking over an existing business, first, is expensive. Second is people seldom sell a good existing location. People do, but seldom. So it will be very hard to get. All right. And why people will sell off, you may ask also, why would people sell off a very good running business? That one, I will talk about it in my 6th factor, right? So bear with me until the end for that point, right? So now we are talking about the location. So existing location is good, it's already prepared, it's there already, but it is expensive and it's hard to find. Secondly, is new location. New location is more like it's risky. but you need to do a lot of homework when it comes to that location. However, if the location is good, you will be the first one to to took your flag over there and monopolize on that area. So it depends on your big why, and then look at your finance. Then you think about, okay, can I get a more expensive existing location to make it easy, or do I want to like buy a new location maybe at a lower price, and then we work harder to bring up that location, the brand in that location. Okay, although it's the franchise owner's duty to make sure that all their franchisees location is kind of far apart, so they don't kind of fight for the same market share. All right. However, you as the franchisee, the one that deciding to buy, is also your responsibility to do your market research on these locations before making a decision. It also depends on how familiar you are with the place. All right, because let's in more general, right? KL, the city, will be a very good place to open any franchise. People, there are high traffic there. You have people who can spend, but are you familiar with that area? Are you familiar with the consumer behavior of that area? Because even though it's KL, Selangor, both also Malaysia, but behavior, customer behavior, purchasing power, purchasing behavior is very different, right? So that's why you need to learn how to tap into it, right? But before you learn how to tap into it, you need to understand the market. So it's also advisable to take up places where you at least know the place. Like for myself, if I want to open a franchise business, of course it will be KL and Selangor. But if I want to reach out to a new area in other states, maybe I'll go to Ipoh because I'm from Ipoh. Or maybe I'll go to Penang because I was in Penang before. I was there for like 3 years. So I'm quite familiar with the consumers over there. But you want me to go to Johor, although Johor, is still Malaysian, but the behavior over there is totally different one. So I don't know how to cater to that market. Right? So third point, market. Okay, cool. All right, so now let's move to the next point, which is point number 4, the most important factor in a business. All right, which is you. Yes, you heard that right. I am talking about you, the person that wants to start the business. Okay, why? You have to look into yourself already. It's like, yes, you reflect on your big why. That's the more visionary thing. Now we are talking about the person that is driving. Big why is more of the destination. Like you want to go eat fried chicken, right? So that is your destination. Right? That's what you want to do, your vision, your big why, because you're hungry. Right? Then the rest will be the where to eat, the location, what is nice, the market. So, but the one that drives the car to the goal, that will go into the car, decide which car to drive how fast, use which road, to reach to that destination, to achieve your goal, is the person driving the car, which is, in business term, you, the business owner that is going to drive the business. What are your goals, your personal goal? Why are you doing this in the first place? Which is point number 1. What are your goals? What is your intention when you want to run a business? Do you want to like make money? Is it for to prove to people that you can actually do it? What's your intention? And most importantly, what is your work attitude? Right? Because working and running a business is very different, right? So, what is your work attitude? Are you ethical when it comes to work? What is your personality? Your work personality, your work style, what's your skill set, what's your knowledge, right? Because all these things will help you to decide which company do you want to go to, right? Which and how much effort are you willing to put in, or how is your research method? How do you do it? Do you do things very thoroughly, or do you do things like the way you research, you see surface only one? Okay, so it depends, right? So if you have the attitude and you know that you have certain weaknesses, maybe you can find a partner to partner together with you, because not everybody is perfect, right? Because you are very important. The way you work, how you plan things, how you research things, how you strategize, how you move forward, how do you handle pressure? How do you react when you are facing your problems? All these things is very, very important. Okay, so look into yourself first. Look into yourself and ask yourself, are you ready to run a franchise business? Especially for those who are working and wants to start a franchise business. Are you ready for the lifestyle change? Transitioning from a 9 to 5 work, transitioning from that into running your own business. Following somebody, although your mentor will be the franchisor, but you're still running the business. Even though you chose to be just a sleeping partner, you are still involved in the business. There are many, many, many things that you need to know and you need to do. Let's say, for example, like myself, I do sales. I know how to talk. I know how to sell. I know how to do customer service. All right. But when I start the business, I need to learn marketing. I need to know market research. I need to learn finance. I'm a math student. My maths is horrible. Okay, but I need to learn finance. I need to learn how money works, how accounting works, and I need to learn about all the COSAC things, register for Sdn Berhad, the difference between partnership and also Sdn Berhad, and what is LLP, suddenly got LLP, and then when you Sdn Berhad, what do you need to do, how much you need to pay, and then why need to pay so much in the first place, and then you have to do, so all the things I need to learn, right? And also, while doing the business, franchise business, it can still be a good brand, a very good, perfect brand. Let's say KFC. You take a KFC, you think that, okay, KFC is a very famous brand, it's automated, but you can still screw things up because one of the main factor for the kind of business is you. All right. So when you are running a business, things may seem perfect. You can plan and strategize everything perfectly, but always apply Murphy's Law. If you know how to apply Murphy's Law, you'll be great. Murphy's Law is basically saying that anything that can possibly go wrong will go wrong. So you have to be prepared, right? Always expect things to go wrong. Always have a backup plan. So this is a characteristic. This is a habit I learned while running my business. So I never thought I'll be in this state. So having all the extra challenges, all the issues, all the pressure, all the stress that you're going to face, ask yourself, is all of this trouble, all of these headaches, all the sleepless nights, all the nights that you need to sleep at shop, all the friends' time that you sacrifice, all the friends that start looking down on you, all this pressure, is it worth the fight? Is it worth the challenge, right? What is the reward that you're expecting? What is the reward you want? And one thing I also want to make it more clear is there's nothing glamorous about starting a business. On the front, right, it looks like, wow, Charles is running a business now. Wow, Charles has his own shop. Okay, some of my friends that open franchises will understand that. It's like, wow, you've opened a Shiling, wow, you open this, wow, you open that. But at the back end, you are the one, let's say you open bubble tea, you are the one who's going to mop the floor, you're the one who's going to wipe the table. Of course, there's staff, but if no staff, how? Back when you don't open, right? You still have to do it. You're the one who throw the rubbish, all this like wipe table kind of thing. So the lifestyle change, the adaptation need to be there. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Understand yourself to see whether you fit into the running business kind of career. Okay, I thought a lot about this point because this is a very important point. Okay, so moving on. Now we are on the 4th point already. So moving on, the next point. This one is the thing that differs franchise business than normal business. Also, one thing you need to factor in to your decision-making process. All right. So, what is the thing that makes franchise different from other normal businesses? Will be point number 5, the system. Okay. When you're paying so much money to buy a franchise, you're basically buying the system, right? System as in their brand name, their color, their interior design, how they make their products, right? Even for let's say for Starbucks, right? To make a frappuccino, there's SOP to follow. Even how you serve customer, how you talk to customer, how you manage customer dissatisfaction, all needs to be same across the board. So that's the system that made the business work. Therefore, you as the franchisee must follow whatever the system is, all the rules and regulations, because every franchise will definitely have their own rules and regulations. However, there are, for different companies, different franchise owners, they will have different level of flexibility. Although, yes, there's the rules and all, but there are different flexibility. There are some that will require you to follow every single one of their rules. Even how you do promotion also must follow the master franchise. There are also some franchise that are more flexible, they are more loose. Right? They will allow you to come up with your own promotion package depending on your location. Okay, so it depends on the franchise. Why this point is important? It also relates back to point number 4, your work ethic and your personality. Are you the type that can follow SOP? Are you the type, or are you the type where you want to have your own ideas, you want to use your own way to achieve certain things, right? So with this point, you also need to see what kind of franchise that you want to get into. All right, the thing that make franchise successful is their system. So if you follow the system, you will make it. If you don't follow, it depends how bad is the consequences. So you need to choose the right system that fits to your everything that I just mentioned just now. Okay, the 1, 2, 3, 4 until now 5. Choose a system that fits everything that we talked about before, all the 4. All right. So once you get all these 5 things right already, all right, you're good to go. There's also one more factor you have to think about. This ties back to the question in, I forgot, it's the first point or second point. I think it's first point. Is why will somebody sell off their business? All right. This is what we call, it's also a factor that you need to think about. So this is what we call as a exit strategy. The exit strategy for a business. Charles, where go people start business one to close business one? You are right. Where go people start marry or think or divorce? Got it? You answer yourself. Okay. So yes, the most ideal mind for a business when you buy over, especially a franchisee, is it should be a long-term business where you can keep generating income until you retire, and even until you can pass down to different generations. That's of course the most ideal thing when it comes to business, especially franchise business. However, this is life. There's no such thing as sure thing. There's always problems. There's always challenges. So as is in business, it's also wise to think about what is your exit plan, your exit strategy. Okay, there are people that buy a business, franchise business, right? They do it, they make the money, get the traction, and they sell it off at a higher price when it's doing good, doing well. That's how some people make money, how people do business, right? There are some where they want to just buy the franchise to learn how to run a business. You don't want to start things from scratch, right? You just buy over business, run it to feel how to run a business. Once you learn enough on how to operate, how to run a business, then you decided you want to start something new of your own. Okay, like certain drink brand. After you do for a while, they want to start their own brand and they become more successful right now. Okay, so or maybe you do the business already. People say, oh, now bubble tea very good. You go and invest. You do already. Then you found out you actually hate making drinks, or you thought, hey, I like coffee. So I get a coffee franchise and do already. Then at one point you feel like you smell the coffee, you want to eat already. Okay, so you already start to don't like the business. Many factors of don't like the business, and of course from there you want to exit already, ma. Okay, or there are issues already, like you not down with the franchisor. Maybe the franchisor director that you've been dealing with quit from that HQ. Now a new guy came in, and then the new rules, the new thing, you knock down with them already, and you want to sell it off. You want to exit. Okay, or the most base thing is the business itself is not making money. So do you want to keep losing more, or close down to make it lose, or you want to sell it off, at least get rid of something? All right, because maybe some other people take over, you'll be better. You wouldn't know, or even non-negative factors like you want to move other country. That's that you buy the business already, you do is doing well, and then your spouse also doing well in their work. Suddenly they need to migrate to other country, so you have to follow. No choice, you have to sell off your business. You sell off the franchise business. Okay, or most common reason why people will let go, exit is partner dispute. Like what Shamil talked about. Exit clause is one of the very first clause I discuss with clients when drafting an agreement, especially when it comes to partnership kind of thing. Correct or not, Shamil? Right? Because you must have the exit strategy so that there's no bigger dispute when the exit happened. All right. So you may be very, very good friends, but when you start a business together, business is business. Okay. And the terms of exit need to be discussed and agreed before the business even start. Even if you're not going to have partner, you have to know when to stop, okay? When to exit, how to exit, and when you exit, you need to know what I mean by having the exit plan is, okay, if you reach to a point where you need to exit, you need to know the resale value of the business, whether you can sell it off based on the existing price you pay, or you can sell it more expensive. What's the deal between you and the franchisor when you exit? Because certain franchisor will have different rules when it comes to exit. Certain franchisors, they can just let you just transfer the name to somebody else and they are fine. Right? There are some, they need to have a lot of like agreements that's going to happen. There's a lot of money changing, and then you need to pay them money. So a lot of things, you need to know all of this first. Okay? And also, you need to know how are you going to exit, who are you going to reach out to when you want to exit. In this case, now VentureGrab first. VentureGrab, when you exit, VentureGrab. Okay? And also, most importantly, you need to tell yourself, when should you exit? At one point, so of course long term but also if things starts to happen, at what point should you start to exit? Okay, so on this point, a lot of comment on this point, so let me take some time to read. I see very long. Okay, so Mohan is asking about wanting to start a franchise business as a whole. Okay, so I think this presentation today doesn't really answer your question today. It won't be answering your question because, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm talking more to the new franchisees, new business that wants to buy over a franchise. But if you want to know more about how to start a franchise business per se, okay, perhaps you can contact me. We can have a chat. Okay, more private we will share with you on how all the things that you actually want to know. Perhaps I can use this as the topic for the next live. Okay, Mohan? Now, let's go to Shamil. Correct. Talk with your partners before your business start making money. It's always to negotiate terms when money is not yet involved. Correct. This is the one thing that I didn't do when I start my franchise business, because I started with friends. We thought that, oh, we all buddy, we all bros. So we thought that maybe things will be perfect. That time young and naive. So as time goes by, business is still business. It involves money, and there's a lot of dispute, and nothing has been agreed upon from the beginning. So when it comes to the end, it's very messy. It became very messy lah. Okay, so I'm gonna go to so much sad story. Okay, anyway, so exit strategy also very important as your entry strategy. Okay, see, the whole thing I talk a lot about entry, talk about yourself, little bit about the business, and especially the exit. The exit is the thing that also determines how are you going to run the whole business in the first place. Okay, so let me recap for today. The 6 factors that you need to think about before considering to buy a franchise business is, number 1, your big why. The reason why you are deciding to buy in the first place. Second point, the finance. You need to know how strong is your financial strength before you decide on what to do. Third is your market. On this term, on this context of franchise, is the location. How kind of location? Be very well versed on the location that you're going to choose. You want to choose an existing one or a new one. So then it's depending on how much you understand about the location, right? Fourth is the most important factor, yourself, all right? How are you going to run a business? Fifth is the system. The thing that differentiates franchise business and also business is the system. Are you a person that can follow system? Are you a person that can give ideas to improve a system? Or are you a person who just follow only, or how? So find the system that suits you. Remember the tagline? The tagline is find a system that you can live with. Okay? Finally, is your exit strategy. Think about your exit strategy before deciding to buy or start the franchise business, because it's equally important as your entry. Okay? So this is the recap. If you want to catch up with the points that I talked about, you can scroll back and watch again. All right. But if you want to talk in more depth on how can you, to help you to decide whether to not whether to buy or not, or what to buy, how do you plan, when to buy, talk to me. All right. Contact VentureGrab, follow VentureGrab, our everything, our Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube. Okay. Follow us. You can also contact VentureGrab. Contact me. My name is Charles. You can, I think my number will appear somewhere. I think in the comment or somewhere. You can take my number, text me. I can help you anytime. And I will see you again in the next live. Okay? Bye.